Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 82nd Annual Building, Congress, and Exchange Craftsmanship Awards. And now, your hosts for the show, BC&E Executive Director Donna DeMarco and BC&E Craftsmanship Chair Thomas Koch.
Well, how about that for applause? That's fantastic. It's like people are right here in front of us.
No, not really, Donna. We are virtual.
All right, so we have to use our imagination a little bit. We know that you're all out there watching, supporting, and cheering on your craftsmen. Today is still very much a celebration. We may not be the Oscars or the Emmys, but we're certainly going to try. And with your help, we will make this a very successful event. Our winning craftsmen deserve it. We know this virtual ceremony isn't ideal, but we want to make this as interactive as possible. So you've got that chat box, don't forget to use it. Add your messages of support and excitement right in there. Today's winners and our audience will all be able to see them. So, welcome to the 82nd Annual Craftsmanship Awards. This has been a long tradition of honoring the extraordinary work by craftsmen in the Baltimore, Washington area. We had no intention of letting a worldwide pandemic stop this tradition, especially when you see the work we're honoring today.
We know this has been a challenging time for everyone, and we hope you and your families are safe and healthy. From the beginning of this pandemic, our industry was deemed essential, and that's for a reason. The construction industry is the foundation of our community. The men and women who create, build, refurbish, and rejuvenate our communities are essential. And the future of our industry is critical. That's why today we are not only focusing on established craftsmen in our area, but also celebrating the up-and-comers, those high school seniors that are already committed to being successful in construction. They are the future, and they are essential too. This year, the Building, Congress, and Exchange Foundation awarded 3 very deserving students with the Future Craftsmanship Award. Last month, BC&E Foundation President John Lawrence and Future Craftsman Committee member John Stahl had a virtual meeting with 3 students to talk to them about the industry and their outlook for the future. Here's a bit of their conversation.
Hello, I'm John Lawrence, and I'm here with this year's 3 winning Future Craftsmen. Jacob Bentley is a senior at Lansdowne High School and is a top student in the electrical program there. Sean Martlett is a senior at Century High School in Carroll County Career and Tech Center. He is studying to be a welder. Thomas Krieger is a senior at Liberty High School and also at Carroll County Career and Tech Center. He wants to be an HVAC mechanic. Welcome all of you, and congratulations on your award and scholarship to continue your work.
First, let me say you all are amazing. I'd like to get into the questions here. Let's start with you, Jacob. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the electrical field.
So I got started through helping my neighbor, who's a private contractor for the most part. I did side jobs with him, and then when I got to high school, I found out that my high school happened to have the electrical program in it. And I decided to join it and see how it went. And I actually ended up really enjoying it. So once I finished the classes, I applied to Winter Electric. That's where I'm at now.
And what do you plan to do after you graduate from Lansdowne?
I plan to further my education and go to trade school for electrical.
That's great. Well, thank you, Jacob, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's move over to you, Sean. You've been perfecting your welding skills with school projects and gifts for family. Can you talk a little more about your craft and specifically what you like about it?
Yeah, so I get to make stuff and I also get to fix stuff. I get to, like, my favorite part about it is being able to take an idea, like if I want to make a bench or a table a certain way, and be able to make it reality.
What about you? What are your plans after graduation from Century?
Going into the workforce in like a welding factory or working for a welding construction line, stuff like that, and then becoming a certified welder inspector.
That's great. Well, thank you, Sean. Congratulations.
All right, Thomas, tell us about your skills.
So I'm in the HVAC program, and so we are able to do a lot with not only air conditioning systems, but we're learning about heating through electrical, gas. We also put in vents. So we've been working on actual systems, putting in refrigerant, charging, troubleshooting. We also work with electrical. I've been able to go out with a friend of mine, and we fixed a convection oven. So from freezer boxes to convection ovens, we're able to troubleshoot and repair.
Well, that's great. After graduation, what do you plan to do?
So after graduation, I'm planning on going on a 2-year church mission and then going into a 4-year extended apprenticeship so that I can get my journeyman in the HVAC field.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Thomas, and congrats.
Yeah, so in closing, congratulations to all of you. You'll each be receiving a scholarship to support your craft and so you continue your work and your education. Thank you for working hard and being a part of our industry. And I just really want to wish you the best of luck as you move forward. So thank you very much.
That was a great way to start off today's event.
Well, we wish all three of our future craftsmen, Jacob, Sean, and Thomas, huge success as they continue to build on their craft and their skills. Let's give them a shout out in the chat box. Let them know you support them. We also have a little game we're playing throughout the program. Beginning right now, take note of any time the word craftsmanship is said throughout the ceremony. At the end of the program, we will ask you to put the total number of times craftsmanship was said into the chat box. The first person to reveal the correct number or the closest number without going over will win a $250 gift card to Home Depot. BCE's Elizabeth Wainwright is out there in Cyberland and she'll be monitoring the chat when it comes time to announce the winner. So happy counting, and just to start you off, I've said the word twice. So Thomas, do you want to give a quick rundown of how the judging went this year?
Sure. Obviously, we had to do things differently this year. The pandemic hit right in the middle of our nomination period, so we extended the deadline, and despite our industry going through crazy times, we still received 35 nominations. Now, typically, our craftsmanship committee gets on a bus 2 or 3 different days in June and tour each of the craftsmen's work on site. Not this year. Instead, we had to rely on detailed applications and dozens of photos and videos highlighting the work of the craftsman. Our judges scored each nomination virtually. They looked at the craftsman's skill, the complexity of the job, and challenges faced on the project, and then scored accordingly. I'd like to thank our craftsmanship committee for taking time to review all the nominations. Their expertise and insight really are invaluable for a program like this. So, thank you, Michael, Cecilia, Dan, Keith, Bob, and Wayne.
And thank you, Thomas, for leading the committee. Today, we will feature 15 Craftsmanship Award winners. Among them, we have 2 decorated craftsmen who have joined an elite group as a master craftsman. That means today's win marks their 5th Craftsmanship Award. We'll also be giving our overall building award to 3 deserving projects. So let's get started. Remember to use the chat box and show your support for our winning craftsmen. And don't forget to count all the times the word craftsmanship is said.
The Church of the Resurrection is comprised of 112,000 bricks, 2,400 square feet of stone masonry, and 580 pieces of precast concrete to create the appearance of a building constructed decades ago. The Flemish Bond brick masonry, composed of a complex custom hand-struck brick blend, perfectly contours the outer edges of the distinctive 22-foot arched Gothic windows. The unique window silhouettes are then complemented by the precast water table, corbels, and arch accents, all located above the 4-foot-high stone masonry base. The Building Congress and Exchange congratulates Doug Sealing of Timothy R. Pierce Mason Contractors as a 2020 Craftsmanship Award winner. The roof of the Church of the Resurrection is supported by 13 heavy timber trusses. Each truss is comprised of heavy timber, 10-inch by 12-inch in size, that were shipped to the site in pieces. Those pieces were pre-finished, assembled on site using solid wood materials, pegged together and hoisted into place. At their peak, the trusses are 46 feet above the finished floor and rest atop structural steel columns with custom connection masonry piers at a height of 22 feet. Assembly of the transept truss detail provides an extraordinary element in the sanctuary. Join us in honoring Mike Enigenberg of Lancaster County Timber Frames for his 2020 Craftsmanship Award. The massive amount of complex drywall, with its numerous Gothic arches and columns surrounding the pre-finished wood column bases and wainscot in the sanctuary, is among the most outstanding details of the Church of the Resurrection's new building. Soaring some 40 feet above the finished floor is the drywall, which draws the eye to the heavy timber truss ceilings, which sets this structure apart from other church buildings. The quality of work was important because the large sanctuary windows could easily highlight any errors in the drywall joints or the finish. Members of the choir literally sit right next to the framed arches, where framing, taping, and finishing mistakes would be more apparent than normal. Congratulations, Mark Tyree of Jennings H. Mitchell & Son, for your 2020 BC&E Craftsmanship Award.
Denver Ellick installed all the mechanical systems for the new Towson University Science Building. A state-of-the-art GPS locator system was used to place hangar and opening locations prior to each concrete floor level being poured. This ensured the precise location of pipe and duct hangers, chases, and mechanical openings in each floor and phase of the project. The mechanical work on the basement level was nearly complete before the building was topped off. Denver Ellick's fabrication shop kept pre-fabbed piping and other systems flowing to ensure the on-site team stayed ahead of schedule. Building Congress and Exchange is pleased to present Paul Heckman and John Mosks of Denver Ellick with a 2020 Craftsmanship Award. Vern Questenberry and the Rough Roofers team had just 2 weeks to replace the copper dome on the Walters Art Museum's Carriage house. After the demo began, they discovered a majority of the wood sheathing and framing had deteriorated. There was not enough time for custom woodwork, so all rafters and sheathing were replaced with regular lumber and was segmented in order to mimic the original curvature of the dome. All copper panels were fabricated in-house as they were installed in order to get exact field measurements of each row, which were a different size and were tapered. The largest panels were 18 by 24 and the smallest were 6 by 12. All the seams at the top of the dome, where the slope was less than 4/12, were fully soldered. Please join us in honoring Vern Questenberry of Rough Roofers for his 2020 Craftsmanship Award. Vern is no stranger to the BCE Craftsmanship Awards. Today's win marks his 5th award. What an accomplishment. He now officially is considered a BCE Master Craftsman.
Vern has been with Rough Roofers for 25 years. His experience has taken him to many heights, and he won his first Craftsmanship Award in 2013 for 2 different projects, one at Towson University and another at Union Square Park. He won another award in 2014 and again in 2018.
We are proud to honor Vern Questenberry with the prestigious Master Craftsmanship Award. He deserves some real applause. Congratulations, Vern. Okay, let's continue with our next Craftsmanship Award.
The scope of work at Maximum was varied, complex, and required proficiencies in all elements of millwork, from open laminate casework to a crusted salt finishing process to a rounded limbo veneer. The majority of the work was custom, including a door,
frame, and hardware package, functional shutters, iPay wrapped steel beams, and an exterior palapa bar. One of the most outstanding features of the project was the back bar display, which involved a plywood skeleton structure being faced with a hardwood edge created by a series of custom molded knives. The look was a vertical tree trunk with halved logs laying across the structure. The Building Congress and Exchange is proud to present Bobby Hamilton and Topper Fox of Hayford Builders with a 2020 Craftsmanship Award. The authenticity of the plasterwork inside Maximon Restaurant transports you to Latin America. To create the undulating vertical surfaces on the interior walls of the restaurant, Mike Santora had to freehand the plaster. There was no pattern, no plan, and no design for the work. It was just an idea from the designer's head. Mike had to hand trowel mounds of plaster in differing patterns on the wall and then had to smooth out the surfaces so that no two mounds looked alike nor were the same distances from each other. In his words, flat walls are easy. This process was difficult. Congratulations to Mike Santora of Altrust Restoration and Home for his 2020 BC&E Craftsmanship Award.
Level Edge Construction's work for the Hancock Visitor Center in Pasadena included a 40-foot by 60-foot timber frame barn-like structure with a wooden mezzanine. The wood structure frames were connected with wooden dowels using a post and beam method. The ability to pre-cut and pre-drill the timbers not only emphasizes the impeccable workmanship, but adds to the complexity of the project. In addition to the timber structure, the carpenters also constructed the wood framing for the interior and exterior walls, the mezzanine framing, wood stairs and railings, the roof planks, and cedar shake shingles. Building Congress and Exchange is pleased to present a 2020 Craftsmanship Award to the team at Level Edge Construction. Ashton Electric Company was in charge of the power, lighting, and fire alarm system for the Hancock Visitor Center. As the main exhibit area is all open, Ashton ran all of the conduits that needed to feed the building under the new slab to minimize the exposed conduit. Even though the walls were loosely laid out, Ashton was able to locate and run all conduit to the exact locations with precision. None had to be moved later once the framing started. They ran separate beams between the roof joists to run the conduit needed for the track lighting and downlights. They ran this conduit very tight to the beam that only the material you see are the flex conduits coming down for the lighting boxes. Congratulations to John Ashton III and John Ashton IV of Ashton Electric Company for their 2020 Building Congress and Exchange Craftsmanship Award.
University of Shady Grove Biomedical Sciences and Engineering building was behind schedule when Henry J. Knott Masonry stepped in to do its job. But David Contrino and his team worked tirelessly and creatively to complete their part on schedule. The building is made up of more than 330,000 bricks and 380 tons of bluestone. There were several different degree angles on various corners where the stone had to be shaped. Those edges were hand chiseled in the field. 3 different colors of bluestone were used and had to make sure certain colors were not touching each other to keep the architect's vision. The Building Congress and Exchange is pleased to present David Contrino with a 2020 Craftsmanship Award.
Dave Contrino has had his share of craftsmanship awards dating back to 1990. In fact, today's award for the Shady Grove building brings him to a total of 5 craftsmanship wins. Welcome, Dave, to the Master Craftsman Club.
Dave has been with Henry J. Knott Masonry for 23 years and has completed more than $50 million in masonry projects during that time. His work runs the gamut, and he has been recognized by BC&E for his skills at the Annapolis Data Center, Mercy Medical Center, Loyola Blakefield, and Holy Cross Germantown Hospital.
Congratulations, Dave. Well deserved. And now, on to our final craftsmanship winners.
When 3 large dormers at the James Bryce House in Annapolis were installed about 75 years ago, the timber frame roof purlins were removed at their locations and the roof trusses modified. Contemporary framing materials were installed for the new dormers. As a part of the museum's quality restoration, Caleb Stroik helped to design and install custom modified fiberglass I-beams and scarf joints, which allowed for the proper, historically accurate new roof materials to be placed. All salvaged historic lumber was incorporated into the repairs in order to keep as much of the original structure in place. Though the repairs will never be seen, Historic Annapolis required that all new materials have the same saw cuts and markings as the remaining original materials. Building Congress and Exchange is happy to present Caleb Stroik of the Country Homestead with a 2020 Craftsmanship Award.
Worcester Eisenbrandt's job was to repair and renovate neglected historic windows at 1217 St. Paul Street, but they had to maintain the original glazing, wood, and hardware, all of which would need to be refurbished individually before being reinstalled. The windows were removed and shipped to Worcester Eisenbrandt's workshop to be repaired, scraped, and prepped, then shipped back to the site for installation. This required each piece of historic trim, hardware, and panes to be carefully removed, identified, and labeled to be properly organized and then reinstalled after the window sash was refinished. The team was able to execute this scope without breaking a single piece of glass. Congratulations to the team at Worcester Eisenbrandt for their 2020 BC&E Craftsmanship Award.
The historic wood proscenium in Dundalk Elementary School's existing auditorium was painstakingly recovered, restored, and reinstalled in the new school. The proscenium consisted of 11 different layers of wood, including crowns, coves, base, edging, and dental molding, as well as the cavity filled with over 90-year-old wood. The carpenters had to assess how the unit was constructed and thereby determine how it would disassemble without breaking pieces, showing hammer claws, or displaying pry bar marks in the old wood. They had to break down the whole system into parts that ranged from 12 to 16 feet, label each piece, and relocate the materials to the new school for reassembly. The Building Congress and Exchange is pleased to give the team at Fegge Construction Services a 2020 Craftsmanship Award.
The Banner Masonry team, led by Dustin Shamer, installed all the exterior masonry throughout the Ronald McDonald House, as well as the interior stonework, including the lobby fireplace and decorative hope stones found in the elevator lobbies. The hope stones provide a natural waterfall-type look with special messages to encourage and inspire families of young children going through advanced medical treatments. It was a challenge to install the stones in an organized pattern, so they fit seamlessly together inside the dedicated spaces, and the messages were displayed properly before they were set in place. The process took over a week to complete per floor. Building Congress and Exchange congratulates Dustin Shamer of Banner Masonry on his 2020 Craftsmanship Award. Working Designs and Installations transformed the first floor playroom at the Ronald McDonald House into a custom-made forest, complete with trees, tree houses, logs, rocks, plants, and even a beehive. The detailed room allows guests to stay in touch with nature when medical treatments prevent them from going outside. The pre-finished trees were over 20 feet tall, so they could seamlessly disappear into the ceiling. This created a challenge to get these items through the front entrance. The attention to detail is outstanding, and even today, walking inside of the playroom, longtime guests and volunteers can still find a new bird or another detail they haven't seen before. Join us in honoring the team at Working Designs and Installations for their 2020 BC&E Craftsmanship Award.
Congratulations to all of our craftsman winners. This is really a great showcase for their work, and we're proud to have them as part of our industry.
While the Craftsmanship Awards are all about the skill and intricate work of the craftsmen, we also want to recognize overall projects and the general contractors who make it all happen. Last year, we introduced this award category with much success, so we have now made it a standard part of our program.
Despite the pandemic, we were able to visit each of the overall projects and get some information from representatives about the buildings. We let each of them know they were nominees, but didn't tell them that they had actually won. Well, we're officially telling them now. Take a look.
My name is Kristen Harvey. I'm with FM Harvey Construction, and we were the lucky builders of Maximon Restaurant. The goals of Atlas Group were to combine Latin America with an exceptional harborfront dining experience. They did this mostly through materials, many of which were imported from various places in Southern America, including Guatemala and Peru. This build-out consisted of 10,000 square feet for the indoor dining area. It also included a 125-seat expansive outdoor courtyard, a stage for Latin American performances, and an unforgettable bar that's the focal point as you enter the restaurant. It's made of halved logs with a veneer. We did finish the restaurant in time and on budget, and both the owner and FM Harvey were grateful for that. I'm happy that a restaurant is getting some recognition given the current state of our country and the immense pressure that the owners are under to keep these restaurants open and viable.
Hi, I'm Jim Nicosia, and I'm with North Point Builders. We constructed the new school in approximately 18 months, demolished the old school, and built new ball fields. There were 3 historic features that were integrated into the project. Those include the restoration and reconstruction of the stone entry feature, the removal, cleaning, and replacement of the custom wood proscenium on the stage in the cafeteria, as well as a custom rebuilt chimney area. At North Point Builders, we pride ourselves on quality. And even though this was a 100,000 square foot project with a tight schedule, we delivered a high quality project to Baltimore County Public Schools. Every component was delivered at the highest level. These include all of the exterior features, including brickwork, as well as all the interior finishes, and especially the mechanical and electrical systems.
Hi, I'm Emily Gladstone. I'm a project manager with Whiting Turner. I'm excited to share our Bunting 17th floor COVID fit-out project here at Mercy Medical Center. In mid-March, when Governor Hogan announced the need for additional hospital beds in the state of Maryland, Mercy was able to answer that call to fit out the 17th floor with 32 patient beds. They chose Whiting Turner and our trusted trade partners to join them in that project. So Governor Hogan wanted this floor completed by June 1st. We started on March 23rd, and were able to achieve our use and occupancy on May 20th, only 59 days after construction started. So typically on a 30,000 square foot patient floor, it would take 6 to 8 months to build. We were able to do it in less than 2. So the biggest challenge of this project was the schedule. We were working 2 shifts, 7 days a week in order to meet the aggressive schedule. I think the most important part of this project was teamwork and collaboration. We went old school. We didn't have time to use a 3D model to coordinate in the field, so it was really our tradesmen and women working together, collaborating, and knowing that they were working on a project that was bigger than themselves.
Congratulations to our winners today. This is definitely a year to remember. And we'd like to thank all of our sponsors again for their support.
So we hope all of you have been counting the number of times the word craftsmanship has been said today. That was one more time, by the way.
It's more than 10.
Our contest is now over. You can start to put your answers in the chat box. Remember, the first person to get it right will win a $250 gift card to Home Depot. We'll run our sponsor thank you video, and Elizabeth will announce the winner after, right there in the chat box.
So thank you for joining us for the 82nd Annual Building Congress and Exchange Craftsmanship Awards. We're looking forward to next year's ceremony. Stay well.